I refused to let my sister wear our deceased mom's wedding dress. My mom passed away 3 years ago, and it left a huge hole in my life. She and I were incredibly close, and she always promised me that her wedding dress would be mine one day. She used to tell me stories about how my grandma passed it down to her, and how she dreamed of it staying in the family. She even left a letter saying that it was meant for me to wear on my wedding day if I wanted to. The dress is beautiful. It is vintage, delicate, and timeless. I do not know if I will ever get married, but that is not the point. My mom left the dress for me. It is one of the last things I have that connects me to her, and I keep it safely stored in a special garment bag in my closet. Things got complicated when my younger sister Emily got engaged. Emily and I have a complicated relationship. She is bubbly, charming, and effortlessly likable. I love her, but she has always gotten what she wants. I, on the other hand, have always been a bit more reserved and serious. Last month, Emily came over for coffee and casually brought up the dress. She started by reminiscing about our mom and how beautiful she looked on her wedding day. Then she dropped the bomb. She said she wanted to wear mom's wedding dress for her wedding. I was stunned. I told her no. I tried to be polite and firm, explaining that mom left the dress for me. Emily brushed it off and said that it did not matter because I was not even engaged. She insisted that since she was getting married first, it only made sense for her to wear it. I told her again that it was not going to happen. She looked hurt and angry but let it go, or so I thought. A few weeks later, I had a gut feeling to check the dress. It was gone. My heart was racing. I immediately called Emily, but she did not answer. I tried again and again until she finally picked up. I was furious and demanded to know if she took the dress. She denied it at first, but when I threatened to call our dad, she admitted it. Emily said she had the dress because she was going to get it cleaned up for her wedding. I lost it. I yelled at her, calling her selfish and entitled. She started crying, saying I was being unfair and that I would get the dress back after her wedding. She hung up on me, leaving me shaking with rage. I immediately called my dad and told him everything. He tried to calm me down, saying it was probably a misunderstanding. I asked him if he knew Emily took the dress. He sighed and admitted that she had shown it to him earlier that month. He thought I had given her permission. I felt so betrayed. The next day, I showed up at Emily's apartment. I pounded on the door until she let me in. There it was, my mom's wedding dress, hanging on the wall. My jaw dropped. The dress was different. She had altered it. Emily had taken the sleeves off, shortened the train, and added beadwork to the bodice. My heart broke. This was not the same dress anymore. I could not believe she had done this without asking. I turned to Emily, tears streaming down my face. I asked her how she could do this. She rolled her eyes and said I was being dramatic. She said she was modernizing the dress and that mom would have wanted her to wear it. She insisted that the changes made it better and that I should be happy someone was putting it to good use. I snapped. I told her she ruined it. I reminded her that mom left the dress for me and that she had no right to touch it. Emily got defensive, saying I was being petty and selfish. She said the dress belonged to both of us because we were both mom's daughters. I left her apartment shaking with anger and grief. I called my dad again and told him what had happened. He was quiet for a long time before saying, "It's just a dress." I could not believe it. I told him it was not just a dress, it was one of the last things I had of mom. He told me to let it go and not ruin my relationship with my sister over something material. I felt like no one was on my side. My friends are split. Some of them think I am right to be upset, while others say I should let Emily have her moment because it is just a dress. But I cannot shake the feeling of betrayal. My sister stole something precious, altered it beyond recognition, and expected me to just get over it. Update. I could not keep it to myself anymore. I was heartbroken and angry, so I vented on social media. I posted about how my sister took my mom's wedding dress without permission, altered it, and refused to take responsibility for what she had done. I did not name her directly, but anyone close to us knew who I was talking about. The post blew up. Friends and extended family reached out to me, offering support and expressing their shock over Emily's behavior. Word spread quickly. It turns out that many people were already aware that Emily had taken the dress because she had bragged about it, but they had no idea she had done so without my consent or altered it. The fallout was massive. More than half of Emily's wedding guests pulled out, including some of her closest friends. They said they could not support someone who would do something so selfish and underhanded. Vendors who had not been paid in full started calling her, demanding their deposits, and Emily began to realize just how much money she was losing. Emily showed up at my door the next day, sobbing hysterically. She was in complete meltdown mode, screaming that I had ruined her life. She accused me of humiliating her in front of everyone she knew. She claimed that the post was a deliberate attack on her happiness and demanded that I take it down immediately. I refused. She switched from crying to anger in an instant. She started yelling that I owed her for the wedding losses. She said I had cost her thousands of dollars, and I needed to pay her back for the deposits, the canceled catering, and even the florist. I could not believe what I was hearing. I laughed right in her face and told her she had brought this on herself. At one point, she dropped to her knees on my porch, wailing loudly. She begged me to take the post down and help fix the situation, claiming that her fiancé's family was furious and blaming her for everything. When I stayed firm, she got up, wiped her tears, and stormed off while screaming that I was dead to her. Our dad tried to intervene and called me later that night. He asked if I could be the bigger person and try to smooth things over with Emily. I told him no. I reminded him that she had stolen the dress, altered it without permission, and refused to take any accountability until her reputation and wedding plans started crumbling. I told him that actions have consequences, and Emily needed to learn that. As for the wedding, it was a disaster. It ended up being much smaller than she had planned. Many of her extended family and friends refused to attend, and Emily had to wear a different dress, a rushed rental that she hated. My relationship with her is non-existent right now, but honestly, I do not feel guilty. The dress was one of the last things I had of my mom, and she destroyed it. I will never let anyone make me feel like I was wrong for standing up for myself and for something that mattered so much to me. Emily might still be angry, but at least now she knows that she cannot just take whatever she wants and expect to get away with it.